Man, these are fat. Holy shit. That should be beyond plenty. Oh, just seeing that makes me excited. That may be a bit of an issue. And the most important part, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news, I am the bad news. In this video, we're unboxing the very first set of 2008 to 2015 Scion XB custom speaker pods. We got both sets of speaker pods for the front doors, the back doors, and the A-pillars. And I cannot wait to show you guys. I am so excited about this one. If you have a second gen Scion XB, you're gonna wanna see this. Before we go any further in this video, I wanna give a big, massive thank you to Custom Speaker Pods, not only for providing me these, but also for making them in the first place. We're gonna go ahead and dive into it. I got this set in white because I'm planning on painting them, so I just wanted something that I could paint later. This is dual 6.5s with the 2-inch tweeter. This is for the front doors, and we'll mock those up on the card in a minute. The other front. Check that out though. Nice, right? I kind of like the white. To be honest, I might leave it white for a second. The idea is to paint it green to match everything, but I kind of like the pop, you know? It's right in there. We got their brand new honeycomb thump covers. So these go a little something like that. My other set of 6.5s for the other side. One of our 8s for the rears. Looks like our other rear. And here's both pillars. Man, these are fat. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. These are huge. And the 8-inch thump covers. Just some speaker covers. And the most important part, the sticker. That's what you need right there. Do not over tighten hardware. Snug tightness is all that is necessary to properly install the speaker pod. Oh nice, I didn't actually know this. Some custom speaker pods branded hardware. That is awesome. I could have used like 11 more stickers, but it's all good. All right, well, I guess that brings up what we're gonna put in them. I got these B2 Riot 6.5s. Go ahead and do a little test fit. So these are the fronts. I think this is probably the driver's side. Oh, just seeing that makes me excited. But yeah, so something like that, even just like that, it looks pretty dope. I'm excited. I'm excited. Really want to get these B2s installed and check them out. So these are the Bonce Arnold W81s, which is basically their 8-inch mid bass. And you know, we're gonna see what we can get out of them in the rear doors. Okay, so that may be a bit of an issue. I'm not afraid of grinding some stuff out a little bit, but I guess that's something to be aware of. Although I will say that these are supposed to be mid bass, you know, so they are a little beefy. But yeah, that'll need a little bit of a finessing. Not a whole lot. The cage on this Bonce is just thick. We will make it work either way. That's for damn sure. Let's check out the tweeters. These are the Rage T1 Neos. I'll be doing 2 in each A-pillar, and that should be beyond plenty. This is the passenger side. So yeah, and these ones are made for like 3.5-inch speakers, where this is a tweeter. It'll work though. Like it sits there fine. I'll probably just need to put like something behind them to kind of like pinch it in place, you know? We'll go mock them up and check them out. But that'll work. Big shout out to Big Jeff Audio for those. If you want to check these out, there's links down in the description for Big Jeff Audio, B2 Audio, custom speaker pods, and anytime you use those links, it helps support this channel, and I personally just really appreciate that. So make sure if you're looking for some custom speaker pods or some B2 stuff, check the description. I guess we'll start with the front doors. The first thing is obviously to remove the panel, mock up the speaker pod on your door, and trace the holes for the speaker rings. For the Scion XB in particular, and probably for a lot of other cars, you'll need to remove the speaker grill that covers the stock speaker. On the Scion XB, all you have to do is drill out the rivets behind it. They're like some little plastic rivets. It's just basically melted plastic. You drill those out, and then the speaker grill is also connected to a little side pocket in the doors. So I just use a Dremel to like trim a little piece off of that, and then it was fine. Instead of taking off, removing that whole piece, I just basically cut the part that I didn't want, and it works fine. It's gonna be behind the speaker pod anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect cuts. It doesn't have to be anything like that. Like, you know, it's your little secret. In my situation, I made that, and I also trimmed out a little bit from my terminal blocks that I used to connect the 2 speakers so that there's only 1 speaker wire that then jumps out to 2 speakers. I ended up doing my mock-up and my tracing of the holes for where I was gonna mount the speaker pods after I cut out the the holes for the speakers. And the reason I did that is that I could put the actual speakers in the pods, use the weight of the speakers to hold them down. At least in my mind, it was giving me a more accurate idea of like, you know, how the pods are actually gonna sit on the doors. Because like, you know, the pods flex a little bit, the doors flex a little bit. So like it helps to like push it down, apply some pressure and get everything like as snug as possible. So the first thing that I did that you don't really necessarily need to do, that I wanted to do it for my own purposes, is I used riv nuts to install the actual speaker pods. And the reason I did that is so that it would basically just be easier to attach and remove as necessary. I will say though, if you don't use riv nuts, part of the installation process is a little different. The way I'm explaining it, you mount the speaker pods to the door and then you mount the speakers to the speaker pods. If you are using the hardware that it comes with and you have to have something on both ends, then you're pretty much gonna have to put the speaker to the pod and then the speaker and pod assembly to the door. So just be aware of that. Another step that you don't necessarily need to do, but I did and I kind of recommend, especially if you're trying to get the most out of them, is deaden the inside. All right, here's what we're looking like. Got some 80 mil, and then on top of the 80 mil, got the foam. Especially if you have like spare deadening lying around, which a lot of us tend to have, go ahead and throw some on here. It mostly just helps for the mid bass, just maintain a little bit more rigidity. That's how you make them not just like a standard install. It's not the tools, it's the craftsman. And then the last thing that I did that is kind of my own thing is these fancy little washers. I just felt like they'd be cool. It looks pretty dope, I think. But once you have the holes drilled, you can actually mount the speaker pod to the panel. The cool thing about the hardware that comes with the kit, I actually didn't need a nut on the other end to hold it onto the door pretty good. I'm not saying I recommend that. You should definitely have hardware on both ends to make it secure. I'm just saying like it held pretty nicely. With the speaker pods mounted to the doors, the next step is to mount the speakers to the pods. Basically do the same thing as before. Mock up the speaker in the orientation you want it, trace out the location for the holes, drill those out, and then you can mount everything. The next step is wiring, which I'm gonna go into more detail in the next video, which is gonna be all about the wiring, the tuning, and even the new amp that I picked up that actually showed up while I was doing the unboxing for the custom speaker pods. And as we speak, another one arrives. But basically I used some terminal blocks to wire the two speakers to the terminal blocks, and I used one pair of speaker cables going to the terminal blocks that fed both of the speakers. So these are 4 ohm speakers, but my amp is seeing a 2 ohm load because I'm wiring them up in parallel. And then last but not least, depending on which order you did it, you're either mounting the speaker to the assembly or you're mounting the assembly to the door. Either way, with everything wired up, you can close it all up together and check it out. I did the entire passenger side before I did the driver's side, just so that we could look at them side by side and see the before and after. And I mean, just look at that, like, come on. Just for that alone, it's worth it, you know, and especially when you have the thump covers. You don't need thump covers, you don't need speaker covers, but obviously it's a nice little insurance policy for your investment. Not everybody is as delicate with our cars as we are, and so for that reason, it's nice to have some speaker covers sometimes. The process for the rears was the same. The only difference was that I didn't need to wire the 2 speakers together. Since the rears are just a single 8, the wiring was pretty straightforward. I did need to run some fresh speaker wire because I was still using the stock door speakers in the rear, but we'll get to that in the next video. I had to actually widen the hole that was cut out for the speakers because the Bonce 8s that I'm using are just super fat. So they just need a little bit of extra room. Okay, so my bad, but I actually don't have any footage of that process or the actual tool that I used. And basically this is it. This isn't the exact one, but I'm pretty sure it's using the same components. And it's literally just a pen taped to a socket driver. And the reason I use a socket driver is because since it's square, it'll basically hit on 2 points and keep the pen somewhat steady. So it's not tilted to one way or the other. And then just go around the edge. And that was just enough to get it. So my bad for not having footage of that one. Just take my word for it. But that's how I did it. And once I had it traced out, I literally just used the Dremel and just took some time and busted it out. I'm gonna include this just because it's a little thing I ran into where the A-pillar, when you like pop it off, it's still kind of connected on there with like this little like plastic strap thing. Little thing right here. It's like a little strap that holds this on there. The easiest way to remove those is to basically just grab them with some needle nose pliers, especially if you have some long needle nose pliers, and just pinch it from the top and literally just rotate it 90 degrees. So it'll actually come out once you turn it sideways. So watch, pinch it, rotate it, and there we go. So it's this little thing, and you just have to rotate it it fits in here. When it's sitting in there like regular, you'll see that it's horizontal and the hole is vertical, so you just rotate it so it'll get out of there, and it's the same thing, you put it back. Another thing I had to do for the tweeters was I had to make some adapters so that my tweeters would fit. Something like that. The reason I had to make adapters was because I asked for the dual 3.5-inch speaker pods, and I had 2.5-inch tweeters, so I had to make a little adapter. Luckily, super easy. I used a hole saw from Harbor Freight. I picked up this one because I need the 2 1/4. I picked up this one because I need the 3.5. You can buy them individually, and you get like nicer quality ones. These are like the low quality ones that, cause you know, I'm not doing this all the time, but I do it enough that like, I should probably have something, you know what I mean? At first, I thought I was gonna use 2 hole saws, you know, a bigger one and a smaller one. But then after I used the first one, I realized using the second one would be super dangerous and basically impossible. So what I ended up doing was I scrapped that idea and I just used a jigsaw to kind of like make my outer cut. And it came out decent, but while I was doing it, I kind of had a better way of how I could make just a better version of the adapter. Instead of even trying to trace out my outer line ahead of time, I just used the hole saw to punch out the hole for the actual tweeter to drop into, and then just literally traced around the tweeter so that my adapters would fit them like super tight and super nicely. Just knocking it out with the jigsaw, some patience, and being super careful. I don't necessarily recommend doing it the way I'm doing it. That's just how I do it, and that's just how it gets done sometimes. Like I said, I don't recommend it. It's super dangerous, and you gotta be really paying attention to what you're doing. Just always prioritize the fingers, you know? Always prioritize you or the health of your loved ones or the other people in your shop or your garage environment. F the tool. Drop that shit, or you know, like drop the piece of wood or do what you got to. Don't lose a finger. As long as you keep that as your priority, you're pretty much safe. I liked the second design so much better that even though I finished my original design tweeter adapters, I made 4 new ones after I had the redesign because it just worked so much better. I hid them like inside the custom speaker pods, so they needed to fit in a little recess. You just gotta be careful, that's all. Something like that. But yeah, that's how you install some custom speaker pods on basically anything, but what you're seeing is on a 2008 to 2015 Scion XB. Not to brag or anything, but these do happen to be the first set in the wild, like in the world. So big shout out to Custom Speaker Pods for that one. Not only did they not have the product and then made the product, but the fact that I'm the first one with them is, yeah, we out here, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, let's check out how it all came out. I gotta say, man, I love them. Like, the fact that they make it super easy to just bolt up some new speakers, potentially get considerably louder, and it's just cool. If you want your own set of 2008 to 2015 Scion XB custom speaker pods, or any other set of custom speaker pods, there's links down in the description. If you use those links, and if you use code DBN, you'll receive a discount, as well as you will be supporting this channel because I receive commissions on qualifying sales. And I personally just really appreciate that because that allows me to invest in this channel, such as going to Made of Steel, and that is actually like a really big deal to me. And it's crazy to me that the content is starting to be able to pay for stuff like that. So from the bottom of my heart, man, big salute to the folks that have been supporting the channel. If you like this kind of content, you should definitely check out this video where we unbox the B2 Riot 6.5s and the B2 Rage T1 tweeters that we installed in our custom speaker pods. That's pretty much all I got for this one. So always see the bad news first.